Hello and welcome to the Driven Forward podcast. I am your host, Felix Jimenez, and I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to spend a few minutes with us. In today's episode, we're going to be featuring some conversations that were recorded at Align, which is Driven's annual conference. And I was able to sit down with a few key folks who were able to share their vision, right, and how that vision turns into action across the firm. Right. First conversation that we're going to present was the conversation that I had with our President and Chief Operating Officer, Venu Thomas, followed by the conversation that I had with Sanjeev Pant, who is our Chief Innovation Officer. Then I was able to sit down with Roman Radichev, who is the SVP of the Office of Field CTOs. Finally, but not least, right, I had a great conversation with our Chief Information Security Officer, Jeff Ridge. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Hello and welcome back to the Driven Forward podcast. We are here at Align, our annual kickoff for the year. Joining me is our President and Chief Operating Officer, Venu Thomas. Venu, welcome to the Driven Forward podcast. Appreciate you stopping by.
Fantastic to be here. Thanks for doing these podcasts. It's amazing, and this is one of the probably the most exciting time of the year for me.
Thank you. All right, that's great. So if you don't mind, we're just going to jump right into it.
Absolutely.
Align is where we set the tone for the year. So from your perspective, what matters most about where Driven is heading right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. So look, we are coming off a phenomenal fiscal year 25. You know, industry-leading growth, multiple recognitions, awards, recognitions from our customers like the NPS score of 93.5.
For our audience, what does the NPS score mean? So that if they're not familiar with it?
The NPS stands for the Net Promoter Score. Mm-hmm. It's not about what a customer feels about a specific project that the person has done or the company has done. It is about what the customer feels about Driven as a whole. Would they actually make a recommendation to Driven to another person or another company? And that's what a Net Promoter Score is. It goes from minus 100 to plus 100.
Okay.
So you have what's called as detractors as well, and then you have promoters. We had it at 93.5, plus 93.5. So we are on the higher end of the promoter score. Anything above 70 is considered as world-class, and we are at 93.5. So that means a lot to us. It means that our customers believe in the Driven story, in our vision, in the ability for us to execute. And it talks about the one thing that we always believe at Driven, which is the customer experience is our North Star.
That's fantastic to hear.
Yep.
So as we set the tone for the year, right, what's your vision and strategy going into fiscal year 2026?
Yep. So when you look at our the last couple of years of Driven's journey, we've been working on proving this concept about us being essentially a top-down systems integrator. And what that means, Felix, is we kind of came up to this journey with the vision that we wanted to start with security applications first and then work our way down to the infrastructure. So security was really paramount for us. So we had these three distinct pillars, what we call it within our company, which is pervasive security, intelligent applications, and AI-driven infrastructure. So those were kind of our pillars. Going into fiscal year 26, we are making a fundamental change in our vision and strategy, again, based on customer feedback and what we hear in the industry, is we are moving from these three things being distinct pillars to almost becoming a platform. So it's one integrated platform where we are talking about pervasive security. We are moving from this concept of intelligent applications to applied intelligence, because I think intelligent applications made sense in an era that's already passed us by. We are in this era known as the trusted intelligence era. So our second platform conversation is around applied intelligence. So it's pervasive security, applied intelligence on an AI-driven foundation. So our fundamental change that we are making is that we are moving from this pillar conversation to our integrated platform conversation. And then that is a big change for us in terms of our vision and strategy going into fiscal year 26.
So with the new platform that we're going to be focusing on, I'm going to be having a conversation with Sanjeev. I'll make sure that I bring up the applied intelligence, because I like that term. I'm also going to be having a conversation with Jeff, so I'll make sure that I bring up pervasive security.
Yep.
And then I'll be speaking to Roman, so I'll make sure that I bring up, his perspective on the new platform.
Yeah.
Okay, Vinu, I got one more question for you, if
Sure.
you don't mind. So establish why this year is different, why the execution matters, and why the rest of the conversation exists.
Yeah, that's a great question. Look, we, this driven journey has been now, it's going to be entering into its fifth year. And the concept for us has always been, let's try and prove this concept of essentially a top-down systems integrator. And we've been really successful with that. So where we started off with security, applications, infrastructure, we were really successful with that. We spent the last couple of years building the team, bringing on some great talent like yourselves, and the field CT organization, and all the leadership that we've built, all the sales leaders that we've brought in. So we've believed really well that we've got the right team and the right people on the bus. So now execution for us now is about scaling the company. And that's where it gets really, really critical, because a lot of people have great vision, but the ability to scale is really important, which is why you really don't see too many companies go from 1 million to 10 to 100. So execution for us this year is about scaling the company, making sure that operationally we've got the tools, the processes to be able to execute the vision that we have, which is that whole platform-led systems integration that I talked about. The other part of it is to make sure that we don't lose focus on what is really, really important, which is the customer experience and the North Star. So this year you will see us making investments in tools. You'll see us making investments in workshops, in design clinics, in the ability for our customers to really consume what we offer in a much quicker, faster way, and then also operationally making sure that we are able to execute in terms of things like scope of works and proposals and invoices. And we want to make sure that we are one cohesive company, not acting as different silos. So platform, when you talk about the vision, it's not just platform in terms of the one integrated platform strategy, it's also one integrated platform as it comes to execution.
So thank you for the couple of minutes. I know we're super busy and we're excited to get back to Align. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. This is great. Thank you.
I'm here with our Chief Innovation Officer, Sanjeev Pant. Sanjeev, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Felix. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You use the term applied intelligence versus artificial intelligence, which is a term that's widely used and sometimes misused. Walk me through your thought process on coming up with that term and how you use it.
That's a great question. So I pondered on this for a little bit. I have a data background, and I look at every business problem from a data standpoint. So when you look at applied intelligence, think of applied intelligence as a refinery, right? Where we're taking our customers' data, which is gold, right? I'm sorry, not gold, oil. What they call the new oil, and we use our AI refinery, that is applied intelligence, to create business outcomes which are essentially gold. Those are revenues. Those are productivity efficiencies, and get them to that state. So think of applied intelligence as an end-to-end process where our applied intelligence team, takes customers through their data journey and into a business outcome using AI as an infusion mechanism.
That's really interesting, right? So what I'm hearing is that it's a customized process for the customer or the client, where you have those conversations with them, and that raw oil is their data, right? And the refinery is the process that you've put together with your team, and the outcome are meeting those and addressing business challenges, right? So that there's significant value add with what it is that you're bringing to the customers. That's really interesting. So walk me through how you use that process, right, to address the challenges for the customers, right, and the different verticals that it touches ultimately, which whether it be a software development or security or the infrastructure. Walk me through your thought process around that.
Yeah, that's a great question again. So and this is precisely the reason why we want to use the word applied intelligence and not artificial intelligence, because if you look at a customer's problem statement, you have to look at that problem statement from the top down to most extent. And what I mean by that is you have to look at it from a business outcome standpoint. And when you look at it from a business outcome standpoint, um, this is why Driven has a complimentary 4-hour ideation session workshop that we do with our customers, where we walk them through this process, essentially showing them what are the pillars that you need to be focused on in order to take your data, convert that into gold, which is business outcomes, by infusing artificial intelligence on every facet of the software design lifecycle.
So let me see if I'm hearing this correctly, right? You have a session with a client, right? You listen to all of their pain points, right? You work with your team, right, to start putting together the mechanisms to begin to solve those pain points, and the outcome of that are actual, actionable items for the business, right? Not just technology per se, but for the business to be able to execute on. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, it's creating those actionable insights that customers are really looking for. Um, I hear this a lot from C levels, where they'll say, "Hey, Sanjeev, I have a data problem," or I can see that they are data rich, but inside poor. So how do we provide that value to the end customers? And this is what Applied Intelligence team does. This is what Driven does, and we apply not only just applied intelligence, but we also apply security as our first and foremost thought process, because we believe that security should be in every facet of this SDLC.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for your time. I know you're busy, so I appreciate you carving out some time for us.
Thank you, Felix. Happy to be here.
We are back here at Align and joined by Roman Radichev, the SVP of the Office of Field CTO. I got to mention that he is an 8-time CCIE, and I'm excited for this conversation. Roman, welcome to the Driven Forward podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. All right, let's just jump right into it. So, Roman, you built out a workshop for the Cisco Hybrid Mesh Firewall. Walk me through, your thought process and why you feel that that's needed today.
Well, most companies today span data centers, multiple clouds, SaaS, remote users. Security tooling grew separately in these environments, and they've never been reconnected. Attackers move laterally across these environments faster than our teams can react to the security issues. So you could say we've been designing security for buildings in the past, and now we operate across the city, so something had to be done. Also, perimeter assumptions no longer match how our applications and users behave. We have policy that lives in many places across many platforms, owned by many teams, and so the result is that every security change that needs to happen feels risky without some shared context and visibility. So as a result of this, the industry came up with the concept of hybrid mesh firewall. It's an industry concept, and Cisco is one of them who is doing this. And unifying the control and visibility across these different platforms in one view, under one control.
So, Roman, in simple terms, right, what is the hybrid mesh firewall?
It's not a product. It's an approach. It's an architectural approach. Security enforcement lives in many different solutions inside of Cisco. We got Cisco security firewalls, both on-prem physical boxes and the cloud. We have a more cloud-native firewalling approach with Cisco multi-cloud defense controller in AWS, Azure, GCP, and OCI. We have Cisco Secure Workload, allowing us to provide segmentation for individual virtual machines. We have the new Hypershield that lives in the Linux kernel called eBPF component, enabling segmentation, granular segmentation for microservices environments. We have Cisco Secure Access for remote users. We have also third-party firewalls that Cisco Hybrid Mesh Firewall supports. It's able
so the
to
telemetry can come from not just Cisco devices, but from other vendors as well to give you that hybrid mesh.
Yes, and it's more about policy. It's the policy in all these solutions has been configured differently in silos in different environments, in different products, different GUIs, and Cisco Security Cloud Control, which is the central component of the hybrid mesh firewall, unifies it in one view in one place, simplifying the provisioning configuration of the security.
Okay, so Roman, what mindset shift do you want to create with these workshops?
Yeah, we got to stop thinking about firewalls as boxes, about individual rules. I want to start thinking about how users and applications interact. The Cisco Security Cloud Control with its mesh policy engine allows you to create rules using AI ops like natural language type of intent requests, which then gets translated into the rules.
So it shifts the conversation from the traditional source destination port,
Yes.
right, to a much more, organic and more directed,
Identity-based,
So
yeah.
more identity-based, more directed approach to solving for security
Yes.
with workloads.
Yeah, instead of writing rules how we've been used to doing it, we can concentrate on the user identity or workload identity, the intent, and what application is provided access to. And we don't have to think about individual rules. And we want the system to automatically figure out, based on that easy to understand intent, what rules need to be created and where and which enforcement point. And having the centralized view and centralized policy across many products lets us think on the policy, the governance, and let the system figure out where should the rules be placed, where should the actual enforcement happen. So you could have even more distributed enforcement points than we have today, because again they're handled by one system, by the Security Cloud Control.
So it unifies the view of the attack surface, but it also gives you very granular control as to where you can execute that perimeter security, or it doesn't have to be on the perimeter. It can be anywhere in the environment.
Yes, like we have a lot of movement happening in the environment, right? The workloads move from data centers to other data centers or maybe to the cloud. In the past, we had to think about which of the security environments do we need to add the rules to, and how does it impact previously created rules in other environments.
Yep.
So it was complicated. The hybrid mesh firewall intends to solve that problem by understanding each of these products, where they are, simplifying the intent-based rule creation, and kind of unifying it all in one place and making it easier for us to provision our security enforcement points.
So Roman, I want the listeners and the viewers to understand, the value they get from this workshop. Walk me through what you're seeing, what you want them to get out of the workshop.
It's a 2-hour workshop. It was actually developed by Cisco. They want us as partners to help them deliver this message to the customers about hybrid mesh firewall, among other solutions as well. This is just one of the workshops. And in the workshop, we present about 6 different scenarios of how hybrid mesh firewall can be used. And we let the customers, based on what they're currently working on and their current challenges, to kind of pick out 2 of those 6. And we concentrate on those. So we go through what they are, how they work. We do some demos, And the goal is to educate the customer about what's now possible with the Cisco hybrid mesh firewall, and hopefully schedule a proof of concept to actually showcase this product in the customer's test environment or demo environment.
Roman, I know you're super busy, so thank you for taking a couple minutes to spend some time here at the Driven Forward podcast.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. And we are back here with our Chief Information Security Officer, Jeff Ridge. Jeff, welcome to the Driven Forward podcast.
Thank you for having me, sir.
It is my pleasure. So, Jeff, help me understand and help our listeners understand what is pervasive security? What does it mean? How can we, what is your thought process around building out what pervasive security is?
It's really ensuring security is everywhere, embedded into an organization's technology ecosystem, into every layer, systems, users, processes even. It's a life cycle of really continuous validation of security controls through offensive testing with a priority on remediating all findings with the defensive security team, typically the SOC, and the SOC is typically your blue team. So the offensive security team's the red team. They work with the blue team ultimately to remediate the findings, and we call this team collectively the purple team.
Got it. So they work in conjunction, and these are some of the things that we at Driven are offering as a service to our customers.
That's right. That's right.
So I wanted to ask you, so how can we leverage pervasive security to reduce the blast radius, but also to ensure that we're not slowing down the business? Because I think successful, security practitioners ensure that, yes, security is paramount, but so is the business, so is running the business.
Yeah. And, should an incident occur, we want to limit the blast radius, ultimately limiting what segments of the network, let's say, that the threat actor has, the capability to exploit. So we really need to implement a true zero trust architecture. This would ensure identity, device, application, and data all operate with minimal privilege, strong segmentation, and continuous verification of devices and users. To answer the second part of the question, it will avoid slowing the business by automating these controls, embedding them into normal workflows, and applying them consistently across the environment.
So that's interesting. So what I'm hearing is that with what you're building out with pervasive security, these are all their own silos, their own vertical identity, the network security, DevSecOps, right? But what you're saying is that it is a holistic approach to that in order to reduce that blast radius, in order to make sure that the business can, not only continue but thrive.
That's right. That's right. And let's not forget the time saved for the business during a breach when the blast radius is reduced, ultimately reducing the scope that threat hunters and forensics teams need to focus on, right? So if we can reduce that blast radius, still allow the business to continue to thrive, and minimize the impact on our SOC team, I think we all win.
So, Jeff, help me understand, and can you describe Driven's approach to pervasive security and how we can help our customers implement it?
For sure. We first conduct a cyber transformation workshop for our clients. We emphasize defense in depth, the approach that we have here at Driven. It's a 9-layer defense in depth. We'll identify security gaps, and we'll create a roadmap to achieve defined outcomes. Offensive security is really the second piece, right? So we want to focus on the defensive side. We want to ensure that we identify gaps for our clients. What is it they're doing right? What can they improve on? Where can we help? So really, we're trying to achieve an outcome for the client on the defensive posture, but also on the offensive side. Because again, we have to validate our controls. Just because we've deployed best-in-breed firewalls or email security or EDR, it doesn't mean that they are not susceptible to attack or exploitation. So offensive security really is that second phase of pervasive security, where we implement techniques such as penetration testing, automated where we can, as well as attack simulation validation.
So sounds
really just making sure the products that we are purchasing, implementing, that making sure that over time the threats evolve and we evolve with them.
So it sounds to me that, you're bifurcating your approach, right? Where the internal continues to be a priority, right? But an equal priority is the external testing to ensure that comprehensive approach to the customer's, security apparatus is really addressed, right? So from both angles.
Yeah, and it's attack surface external, but it's also internal, right? We want to make sure that if a threat actor actually breaches an ecosystem of our clients, we want to make sure that they don't have the capability of, let's say, exfiltrating data through the client's firewall. So we can help them identify that, and again, sort of work through a roadmap and close any gaps that we find during the transformation exercise.
And in working with our clients, right, I think a byproduct of this, and keep me honest, is that when we have these workshops or these sessions with the customers or the client, right, we identify whether the tooling is overlapping, whether its utilization isn't where it should be, right, and there can be cost reductions, right, or a focus on a tool that will execute more effectively. So these are some of the things that are derived from these workshops.
That is exactly right. It's many times we can help our clients reduce cost and actually maximize their operational efficiencies as well. So it's not just an exercise on where is my security posture today and how do I get to a better posture tomorrow, but also, how can I save and actually automate some of the things that I'm doing today to help me in the future.
Jeff, I know you're super busy, so I want to thank you for, carving out some time for us here at the Driven Podcast. This has been absolutely amazing. Thank you.
I agree. It's been amazing. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.